So you have learned chess, you know how the pieces move, you know what a checkmate is. But whenever you open the chess.com app, you get crushed in less than 10 moves. Sometimes it takes more. If that sounds like you, first of all, welcome. You are not alone. I have been there to understand the feeling. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some practical advice that helped me cross 1800 elo mark in less than 1 year without losing my mind and keeping the game absolute fun. But before we go any further, I want to make a quick disclaimer. This video is not for those competitive players who wish to grind 10 hours a day and will not settle until they have a FIDE title before their name. Please click off this video. This video is not for you. You can get some insights from me if you are below 1600 or 1800 level, but still I want you to start learning from those who have educational channels who will share 15 moves of 7 different variations of Nimzo Indian defense with you. Good luck remembering those 70 moves of a single opening. Here, this video is for those adult players who started late, like when they were more than 15 years old, and who understand that they will not become grandmasters. They just want to have fun, they want to get good at it, and they want to become the best among their friends, their family, and who just want to have fun without losing their minds. As someone who plays around 1900 rating level, which puts me in the top 1% players on chess.com, let me share a secret with you. You do not need to turn chess into a second job to become this good. Like, this is not very good. This is not still nowhere near the mastery level, but still it puts me in the top 1%, which means that the average players on chess.com are between 500 and 1500 rating. And to become this good, you do not need to go through the grind. And in this video, I will share with you how to actually improve, how to think, and how to actually enjoy this game. I will break this video into 3 parts. The first part is for those who are under 500 rating. The second part is for those who are between 500 and 1500 bracket. And in the third part, I will just share with you my personal mindset, my personal take on chess, which I have not heard from any other casual player on YouTube. So let's start with the part 1. If you have just begun, or if you are under 500 rating, you do not need to worry about advanced concepts like outposts and weak squares, open files. You do not need to be able to solve mate in 3. At this point, chess is not some deep positional strategy game. At this point, all you need to understand during the game is where are your pieces and where are your opponent's pieces. What I mean by this is most of the games under 500 rating are decided by giving away free material. There are some games when you have more material or your opponent has more material and you simply miss a mate in 1 and you lose even if you have 10 plus material. But mostly you lose because you do not have enough material. So if you want to immediately break through 500 rating, you need to forget about the advanced concepts. You do not even need to learn about the openings. At this point, many people watch opening traps, and these opening traps mostly do not work because for them to work, your opponent should play a set of moves, but they do not usually play those moves. So even if you have to watch the opening trap videos, watch them so that you do not fall for those traps, but do not learn them to apply them because they will stop working and you will not improve at this game. At this point, just understand some basic rules. Open with the center pawns, develop your pieces, get your knights and bishops out, do not move your queen in the beginning, and simply castle the king and secure it. That's all. You do not need to worry about anything else. And after you have understood these basic principles, you need to follow 2 golden rules. The first one is that chess pieces need friends who are protecting them. So whenever you are moving a piece, like your knight, your bishop, your rook or queen, make sure that it is protected by some other piece or pawn. It is not hanging. If it is hanging, you might lose it. And the second golden rule is that take free material, take the gifts. At this point, it is 100% guaranteed that your opponent will be hanging their queen, their knight, their bishop or something, and you have to catch that opportunity. You have to take that free material. So keep your eyes open. Do not just focus on your own moves. Look at the board and see if your opponent has blundered some piece. Take it. These are the 2 golden rules that you have to follow. And one extra thing that you have to do in this category, like under 500, you have to understand the basic mating patterns. Watch some video about the basic checkmates, especially the queen checkmates and the rook checkmates. Many times you understand the basic stuff, but you're not able to checkmate, and sometimes you miss checkmate. Like you are up in material, but you are just focused on taking pieces or your own plans, and you forget a back rank checkmate or something like that. So understand the basic mating patterns as well. If you follow this advice, you can absolutely go above 500 in a matter of days. Some people have crossed 500 in even 1 week or 2 weeks. My friends managed to go above 700 in less than 1 month. I was just telling them constantly whenever they were playing games that they have to follow this basic advice. So let's talk about the massive middle bracket 500 and 1500, where the majority is. This is the bracket where most of the casual players spend their entire lives and they never get out of it. In this bracket, most of the people think that maybe their openings are not very good, maybe their end game is very weak and they are stuck here. But this is not the case. Most of the people in this category, in this bracket, they are suffering from hope chess. Mostly they want to implement their own ideas and they totally forget that their opponent also is here to play their moves, and they're just making a move and hoping that their opponent doesn't see their plans. And this is what my friends are suffering from it as well. They do not get out of it because they don't understand chess is a conversation. Whenever in chess your opponent plays a move, they are trying to speak to you. Ask yourself why he played that move and what does he want. Is he trying to hurt you? And whenever you make a move, do not just blindly focus on your own plans. Ask yourself about the plans of your opponent as well. Personally, I managed to get out of this bracket by following only 3 pieces of advice. The number one thing is that you have to improve a little bit of your openings. You do not need to understand every opening. Personally, I do not have good knowledge of the openings. When I was in this bracket, I used to play only 4 openings. As white, I used to play e4, which is Italian game, and d4, Queen's Gambit. These were the only 2 openings that I knew. And as black, I used to play c5, which is Sicilian defense, in response to e4. And whenever my opponent played any other move other than e4, I used to play King's Indian defense. I heard that this is an opening that can be played in response to any opening. And no matter my opponent plays d4, c4 or g3, any kind of opening, I used to play King's Indian defense. You do not need to understand all variations of these openings. You can select any 4 openings and you can learn the basic moves of those openings in 4 days. That is all. Forget about openings. You do not need to understand openings. And after that, the second thing that I focused on was my calculation skills. Calculation is very important. This is the only thing that matters. You should play chess because you want to use your mind. So just start solving puzzles. Puzzles are the only thing that helped me most in my game. So I spend almost half an hour or 1 hour every day on solving puzzles. This trains your mind. Not only it trains your calculation, but it also trains your pattern recognition as well. You can use Chess because it has free puzzles, and you can use chess.com as well if you can afford it, and otherwise just use Chess. It has millions of puzzles and it will give you puzzles according to your rating, and it will train your pattern recognition. In this bracket, you should learn basic chess tactics. For example, you should understand what is a fork, what is discovered check, how to pin pieces, and also try to solve basic mate in 2 and mate in 3. And the third thing is end game. Many times I used to draw my games because I did not understand the concept of opposition, how to take a position with your king, and I did not understand how I can promote my 2 pawns. If I have 2 pawns and they are on 6th rank, it is a winning endgame against 1 rook. So just focus on 2 types of endgames: rook endgames and pawn endgames. These are the endgames which are happening in around 70-80% of the games. By following only these 3 principles, these 3 rules, you can easily get out of 1500 bracket. So let's talk about the soul of this game. I do not know what is your why for playing this game, but my why is that I really like when I'm playing this game and it turns on the gears of my mind. Also, I love the kind of attitude it has implemented in my personality. It is not just on the chessboard, but also in my personal life, that whenever I make some decision, whenever I am having some thoughts, I try to make a calculated decision. I try to look at the consequences, and I would advise you the same. And also, I would advise you that do not take the anxiety of rating. It is so easy to fall for the low anxiety when you are playing online. When you lose 5-7 games and lose 40 points, you feel like hell. I personally have felt that when I was playing around 1100 1200 rating level. And then I realized that the goal of my playing chess is not to gain more rating, but it is something else. I would advise you that you also do not just focus on rating, focus on the game. And the more you will like it, the more you will try to learn it in a fun way, you will definitely improve it. And one more thing I want to share with those casual players who are below 1500 rating, I would tell you that chess is much more fun at this level, like below 2000 level. The higher you go, the more rigid chess becomes, the more you need to memorize openings and end games and positional strategy, that kind of stuff. I am not saying that it is not fun at all, but I am simply saying that it becomes more stressful, and once you lose advantage, your opponent is not going to give it back. But at this level, below 1700 rating or even 2000, there might be moments that you lose a piece, but you still win the game somehow. At this level, chess is full of hilarious blunders and wild comebacks, so you do not need to rush to become masters, and you do not need to turn this beautiful mental playground into a very stressful grind. So you should keep it fun. And that was all from my side. And if you want to build a relationship with chess that is built on joy and low stress and curiosity, then that is what I will be trying to build here. In future videos, I will be sharing my own wins and losses. Also, sometimes I will be sharing some games of lower rated players. Also, I will occasionally share some practical advice that can help you improve your game. If that is something that you would like to be a part of, you can hit the subscribe button, you can like this video, and remember to keep chess fun. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.